Hey everyone, this is the final lecture talk of Chapter 7, and today we're talking about vocative case, which is on page 77 of your book. Okay, vocative case. This is the 6th case we've learned. We only have one more case to learn in Latin, and vocative case is used for what we call direct address. That means directly talking to someone. Okay, and there are really only a couple of rules for forming the vocative, and we'll start with this one. The vocative is the same as the nominative. As the vocative case is the same form as the nominative case. Usually. Okay, usually the vocative is the same as the nominative. Okay, now I'm going to give you the big except. Except in second declension US and IUS nouns. Okay, so vocative is the same as nominative except when the noun ends in US or IUS and it's second declension. Okay, so let me give you some examples of those. Okay, here's an example. Amicus or animus or equus or coquus. Okay, those are all second declension nouns that end in US. Okay, so to make these nouns vocative, you drop US and add E. Okay, so drop out the US for amicus and you add an E. So amicus becomes amicae in vocative. So if you were talking to your friend, you would say amicae, right? You wouldn't just say amicus if you're talking directly to him. Okay, animus becomes anime. So if you were, talking to your soul, which is not quite outside of the realm of possibility, I guess, you would say anime. You can see we get the English word anime from that. Okay, equus, if you were talking to your horse would become eque. And if you were talking to your cook would become coque. Alright, and so that's how you form the vocative if it ends in US. If a word ends in IUS, okay, here, and these are mostly names that end in IUS, like Publius or Tiberius, like Tiberius. Or here's a noun, Filius, that ends in IUS. If it ends in IUS, then you drop the US, and that's it. So Publius becomes Publi, Tiberius becomes Tiberi, Filius becomes Fili. Okay, so Publius becomes Publi, Tiberius becomes Tiberi, and Filius becomes Fili. Okay, and so that's how you form the vocative. Otherwise, if it's not a noun that's US or if it's not ius, then it's just the same form as the nominative. So for instance, the vocative of the word puer would be puer. The vocative of puella would be puella. And it's the same for the plural. The vocative of pueri would be pueri. So it doesn't matter what the word is, unless it ends in us or ius. Okay, it's the same as the nominative. For us, you drop us and add e. For ius, you just drop the us. Okay, and it's that simple to form the vocative. Now the vocative is often used with the imperative. Okay, so if you talk to somebody, if you order someone to do something, you're usually going to be talking to them, right? Okay, so let's say we have a cook, and remember that in ancient Rome, cooks were mostly slaves. So we would say something like para coque canam. And that would translate as prepare the dinner. Cook. Okay, now notice that here is our vocative, coque, right? Because it ends in E. Okay, we change it from US to an E. Para is our imperative, okay, and canam is a direct object. That's why it's accusative. Now, notice how we put the vocative second, right? Now, it doesn't really matter that much, but the vocative generally will never be the first word in the sentence, although in English we translate it that way. We could say, prepare the dinner, cook, or cook. Prepare the dinner. That's probably how you would say it if you were talking to someone in English. But in Latin, the vocative should go second. And it does it because the vocative is what's called, and this is a fancy grammatical term, it's called post-positive. Post-positive literally means placed after. Okay, it comes from a verb pono, to put, and post, of course, we know is a preposition that means after. Okay, let's do one more example of a sentence with vocative. Okay, so our sentence is okay, here's our sentence. Specta amicae terram, which means look at the ground or the land. Friend. Okay, and so here's our vocative. It's post-positive, it comes after the imperative, and then here's the direct object. If we wanted to make this sentence plural, then specta would be spectate. Okay, amicae would go to amici. So remember, vocative plural and nominative plural are the same. And we'll say terras. Okay, so this would then become look at the lands, friends. Okay, So vocative is used to talk to people. It's called vocative of direct address. It's usually the same form as the nominative unless the noun or the adjective ends in us or ius. If it's us, you drop the us and add e. If it's ius, you just drop us. One more thing, the vocative of meus, which is the masculine adjective that means my, goes to me. That's kind of an irregular one. And so if you had if you had if you were talking to if you were Roman and you were talking to your son, you would say something like salve mi fili, and that would be hello, my son. This is a really common vocative in Latin. So meus goes to me, and of course filius ends in ius. So to form the vocative, you would drop the us. Okay, and that's it for today, and thanks for tuning in, and see you guys next time.